Voiceover coaching scam. 4 words can tell you a whole lot. We'll talk more about that. But first of all, wow. Was last night's training on direct email marketing with Todd Barsness unbelievable or what? I am so motivated. I love Todd Barsness. I've known Todd for a long time. And, as we talk about yesterday and today, talk about voiceover coaching, uh, working with people who are men and women of integrity, that's a big deal. People who are at the core honest and good and do what they do to help people, that is what it's all about. And that describes Todd Barsness. But beyond that is the fact that he absolutely knows through experience, through massive experience and fine tuning, refining, this man understands direct marketing like nobody else in voiceover. And last night we just had a fantastic, it was rich, full of amazing content. We had great Q&A at the end. And of course, those bonus videos he created so you can actually watch how the sausage is made. And I think that's why, like in the blueprint, why I allow my students to watch me as I work during the day, because it's one thing you can tell people stuff, but until they can actually watch you and see how, like I said, how the sausage is made, if they can watch the inner workings, that's when it really all comes together. I'm excited to say that the videos from last night's training, along with those bonuses that go with it, are available through the end of this week. So if you couldn't be a part of the live event, you don't have to miss the training because it's all available, the videos, but only through the end of this week, through Friday night, and then we pull it. So if you're interested in that, I highly suggest that you check it out. And it's fun. I was seeing somebody was quoting from last night. I think it was Mike said, yeah, Mike Spenley said, direct email marketing is simple, but not simplistic. And that's a direct quote from Todd Barsness last night. I'm still fired up about that. As a matter of fact, I mentioned this last night, and I'll just mention it to you guys, that I decided, as I've mentioned a number of times, I hired Todd's company, VO Marketing Pro, to market for me, which is great. And so, I consistently get new projects and clients in from them. But I decided to supplement that through my own efforts, and decided just last Friday, that I would just start sending out 10 emails a day. And so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So as of the end of yesterday, I'd sent out 50 emails in total. And by the end of yesterday, I had 2 warm responses. One was like, hey, thank you. We'll keep you in mind, which is always nice. So I'll have to cultivate that, may become a client, may not. But the second response that I got later yesterday, and by the way, these were all in Germany. I was focusing on actually Berlin specifically. Why? I don't know. I get quite a few projects from Germany, so I thought let's just market someplace where everybody else is not marketing. So I'm focusing on Berlin, and so I got another response later in the day yesterday that said, "Hey, thanks for contacting us. Here's some of the kind of work we do. Can you give me an idea of what you charge for this?" So we began a conversation. I responded to him. He responded back to me and said, "Sounds good. I will suggest to my team that they consider you for upcoming projects." So that was a major win just by putting in a few minutes every day, sending out some emails. So if you're not doing it, do it. If you need the training, need some help, need some motivation, need more details, again, check below in the description and you'll see the link to Todd's training. So yesterday began a conversation. Oh, by the way, let me just say, if you haven't yet, make sure you get into the live stream chat. Share where you're watching or listening from this morning. We'll do a little shout out here at the end of the video. So yesterday began talking about voiceover coaching and that it's very important, if you're considering working with a voiceover coach, that you do the uncomfortable thing, and ask them how much they make. If you're expecting them to help you make more money. And by the way, somebody had commented yesterday after that video, uh, on the video, saying, well, what about casting directors? They're not necessarily voiceover talent. And yes, you may learn to become a better auditioner for casting directors. But I guess my response to that would be, how much work do you get from casting directors? If I were to take a poll of you guys, how much work do you get from casting directors? I mean, I've been doing this a long time, 18 years, over 10,000 projects. I, I occasionally get a job from a casting director, but it's almost always 95 to 99% of the time, it's from the client themselves. All right. So you want to work with somebody. If you're only focusing on that, it's more like agency work, then you're going to have a really hard time making a living. That's why I say work with people who know how to make money so that you can make it, and once you're making a living, then knock yourself out. Do anything that you want to do, but usually job one is to make sure that you're making enough money. Uh, so again, do the uncomfortable thing and ask the coach how much they make currently in voiceover, not voiceover training, but voiceover income. That's important. And by the way, any of you guys, if you're interested in being in my voiceover blueprint and you want to have a conversation with me about how much I make, I'm glad to share that information with you. And I think any coach should be. But today I want to share with you 4 words that should send up red flags everywhere. If you're working with a coach and you've been working with them for a while and they say these 4 words, you are not ready, then you need to rethink that relationship. And I'm not saying just if they say that they're a scam necessarily, but it certainly sends up a red flag because I have heard this over and over and over the throughout the years, where a student will come to me and start working with me, and they say, "Well, my last coach, I was with him for like 5 years, and they just kept telling me, you're not ready, you're not ready, you're not ready, you're not ready." And that tells me one of 2 things. One is they're just trying to squeeze all the money out of that person that they can. Or they may be sincere and their paradigm of voiceover is like national work. You only do national work or you don't do anything else. And certainly after a month or 2, 6 months, you may not be ready to book national level work yet. Even when you are ready, how often that comes along, like I said, I've done this for a long time. I've booked some big national gigs, but they're not plentiful. They don't come along all that often. So that's not even a consideration. A student, and again, I'm just talking from experience working with a lot of students over the years. I can have most anybody ready in very short order to get work. Now, that doesn't mean national work. And here's the rub, and here's what a lot of coaches who are very institutional thinkers are not thinking. The fact that there is work for virtually anybody and everybody in voiceover, from entry level, and many of them don't even see an entry level. All they see is top tier national work. It's either that or it's nothing, which is ridiculous because that's the very tippy tip top of the iceberg. Most voiceover work is the other 99.9%, which falls below the water that people don't think is nearly as glamorous. It's doing local commercials, maybe regional commercials, audiobooks, explainer videos, on and on, corporate, e-learning. That's the work. I mean, that's where if you want to make money in voiceover, that's where you're going to make your money in voiceover. And I'm telling you from great experience with proper coaching, somebody in short order can be making money. Yeah, they may not be booking big 6-figure national campaigns, but you can make a living pretty early on if you have the proper training and you're willing to do the work. So if you ever work with a coach and they keep telling you that you're not ready, you need to turn tail and run because there is a lot of work out there and most of it is not national level work. So there's a broad variety. Yes, from lower pay entry level, but that's where you got to start in any kind of career. And then you work your way up the ladder like you would in any career. That's just the way business works. So you can make money sooner rather than later in voiceover. You just need to understand how the market works and how to do that kind of thing. But a lot of coaches are entrenched in this really old, stale, outdated way of thinking, and it keeps voiceover talent like you from moving forward because you think you're not ready when it absolutely you are. Again, either that or they're just trying to squeeze more money out of you. So those are the 4 words. You are not ready. When you hear that, you should just say done and move on from there. I hope you find that helpful. And I know that the people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But what I'm telling you, all of this stuff applies to anybody. I don't care who it is. And again, I think you should vet everything I say. If you're a student of mine, you should, if you need to ask the hard questions, ask the hard questions. But you need to make sure the people you are working with can do what they say they can teach you how to do. That's so, so important. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. I've seen it over and over again. People come to me after spending, Lord, I mean, like thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars with nothing to show for it. And it's crazy. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay, there we go. End of rant. Let's see who we've got on the live stream this morning. Rob, good morning to you. In the cloudy but mild San Francisco Bay Area. I like that. Let's always look for that silver lining. I like that, Rob. We've got Emma in Huntington Beach. Hey, Becky, how you doing in Michigan? Nephi in Knoxville. Ron in Charleston, South Carolina. He says it's Wacky Wednesday. Rick, good morning to you in Des Moines. Scotty in South Dakota. Phil in Tokyo says, thank you for the great webinar this morning, Tokyo time. Speaking of last night for us, Todd's class, the perspective was very enlightening and motivating, put us on a clear path moving forward. Phil in Tokyo. Phil, I'm so glad you were there. It was just, I can't say enough about it. I knew it was going to be great, and I'm just over the moon about it. Good morning, Stacy. How are you doing? Let's see. Keith in Renton, Washington. And Stacy, by the way, in San Diego. Melissa in San Diego. Mike in New Jersey, who, once again, quoting Todd Barsness, says direct email marketing it's simple, but it's not simplistic. You've got to certainly be willing to work it. That's for sure. Hey, Mark, what's up in Wilmington, North Carolina? John in Denver. Oh, YouTube's moving that live stream on me again. They want me to move faster here, apparently. Let's see here. Where am I at? We've got Longview, Washington in the house. Dong Chow, good morning to you. I enjoyed Todd Barsness' class last night. The mentality is the most important factor in our success. It really is, Dong Chow. If you don't have this right, nothing else good's going to happen. Once you get this straight, you can figure out everything else. Jason, good morning to you in Kearney, Nebraska. Mary, New Jersey. Rob, what's up in Loveland? Henry in Rockford. Ty in Cold Warsaw, Indiana. Dale, good morning to you in Atlanta. Corey, Whitehall, Wisconsin. Marla in Texas. Jason, Newport, Oregon. Aaron in Columbia, Missouri. We've got Shaney in Alton, Illinois. Sandra in Dallas, Fort Worth, who says, excellent webinar last night. John in Rhinebeck. Wayne says, enjoyed Todd's program from Port Orchard, Washington. Matthew, how are you doing in Grand Rapids, Michigan? Terry, overcast in Falston, Maryland. Yes, buyer beware, indeed. Good morning, Michelle. How are you doing in windy Indy? Mike in Spanish Fort, Alabama. Alex, Utah. Wally says, got a good fix of marketing coaching last night. What a great webinar. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Wally, for being there. I'm glad you were able to make it. Andrew in Van Wert, Ohio. Megan, good morning to you in sunny Manitoba. Jolie says, who was on the training last night as well, says from snowy, no rain, no sun, state of crazy weather, Minnesota. Angela, but it is the land of 10,000 lakes, right? Angela, good morning to you in Harmony, North Carolina. Joy in cold and cloudy Southfield, Michigan. Lots of emojis this morning. I love it. JR in Austin, Texas. Happy hump day to you. Rusty in the UP of Michigan. Damon in the UK. How are you doing this afternoon, Damon? We've got Mike. Good morning, Letitia in San Antonio, Texas. We've got Kibby in warm Tbilisi. Amanda in springy Westchester, Pennsylvania. Let's see here. David in Gardner, Kansas, headed to Ohio for graduations. We'll wave on our way by. Yeah, please do that. Carly in Arizona. Kevin in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Dave in the Big Apple. We've got Glenn in Atlanta. Dewan in New York City. Dave says, let's give a thumbs up for Professor Bill. He earns it every day. Thank you, Dave. I sure appreciate that. My good morning to you in York, Pennsylvania. Scams and identity theft have me fearful right now. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Chris in Lakeville, Minnesota, and Alex, happy Wacky Wednesday to you. If it's anything like the book, we've got a lot of crazy working, finding to do. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And don't forget those videos of Todd, his training, along with the bonus videos, all available, but only through the end of this week. And so if you want those, go below, check it out. You guys have a great and wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow morning.